This is Elon Musk dressed like some sort of predatory flasher in the Oval Office, and he is predatorily flashing his DOGE and taking down office after office. Let's listen to this for just a moment.
Breaking tonight, a busy day in the Oval Office. Appearing alongside President Donald Trump, Elon Musk says he thinks it is possible to cut the U.S. deficit in half by finding waste, fraud, and abuse. They're defending the Department of Government Efficiency as some directives face protests, court battles, and criticism. Earlier today, a key ally from the Middle East met with President Trump in the Oval Office as the president reiterates his plans to control and develop the Gaza Strip. Senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich is following it all live from the North Lawn. Good evening, Jackie.
Good evening, Brett. Elon Musk, speaking with the president in the Oval Office, responded to criticism, saying that worker buyouts and funding cuts are not a hostile takeover, but they are the big government reform that the American people voted for. He warned the country would go bankrupt if changes were not made. The president said that he will comply with court orders as legal challenges continue.
Those judges
President Trump compelling agencies to work with the Department of Government Efficiency to begin large-scale reductions in the federal workforce. The executive order limiting 1 new hire for every 4 employees that depart from government service and keeping new hires to essential positions. Musk taking questions on some government payments DOGE has sought to block.
It's not draconian or radical, I think. It's really just saying, let's look at each of these expenditures and say, is this actually in the best interest of the people?
But DOGE's plans have been held up by court orders, the president saying he will comply.
I always abide by the courts, and then I'll have to appeal it. But appeals take a long time, and I would hope that a judge, if you go into a judge and you show him, here's a corrupt situation, we have a check, I would hope a judge would say, don't send it, give it back to the taxpayer.
And
okay, I'm going to stop it right there.
I saw that whole interview.
Because, I think a lot of people saw that interview. I want to bring up a fucking point here. These judges, who the hell do they think they are? Seriously, these guys are coming out of the woodwork. They're all Obama judges. Mm-hmm. They're all, we have to have this money or starving children in Africa are going to get AIDS and climate change will kill them.
Well, because
I don't care about Derp Click. I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care. No, I'm not sorry.
Well, because they know. Because they know. We now have an administration who's willing to follow the money.
Yeah.
You can't. The amount of money that has been, 3-shelled Monty'd around for the past, I don't even know how long, you can't hide that.
I did all of these maps 3, 4, 5 years ago.
I know.
The BlackRock map, the China Entrepreneur Club map.
Yeah.
The behind the money going behind the universities. There was a guy we were talking to a bunch of months back whose family was involved with the university in Maine. And he said, oh, by the way, this money's coming into the university. It's this little tiny university in Maine, and it's getting millions of dollars. Well, now we know where it's coming from. Yeah. It's coming from USAID. And they're funneling it through the universities. And I'm going to show people that later. I've got another thing to look at, another tab that we're going to be looking at, but it's just crazy what they're doing.
Yeah.
And these judges are like, they don't, I'm so fucking flustered right now because they don't have any authority to do this, and they know that they don't, but they're just doing as they please because that's what they've been doing for the last 20 years.
Because they can, because of the qualified immunity. Like you can literally, all right, so you appeal the judge, it goes up, they say, okay, no, he's wrong. Nothing ever happens to that judge.
No, but here's the thing, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. It's people's ignorance. It's even lawyers' ignorance of the case law that's out there. I found precedents. These judges can be dealt with. At the very least, their decisions can be shut down. They can be told to shut up.
But let's just put this into perspective. Dude,
I'm fucking hot.
I know. The very bottom of the whole judge fiasco thing is the family court judges. And they have literally been screwing men over, abusing the Constitution, hand over fist since the early 80s, late 70s, and it's only gotten worse. And is anyone fucking surprised that now we have judges near the top who are like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. You can't do nothing to me. It needs to fucking be changed. You can't have somebody with that much power and there's nothing you could do to them. Because you know what happens, right? When you don't get justice in the courts, historically speaking, people get that justice outside the courts. And that is a very brutal situation. I don't want to see it happen. But that is where we're going here. We need to get laws in the books so we can make it easier to recall judges, or once they
I'm
get.
killing you. We have laws on the book.
I know. I'm just saying.
Nobody knows they're there, and nobody's enforcing them.
You are correct, but the thing is that this whole qualified immunity thing, that's not actually a law, is it? It's a precedence, right?
Qualified immunity?
Yes.
I would have to go back and look to see what it is at a federal level. At a state level in Michigan, it is actually law, thanks to our 3 hags of Lansing.
Yeah, but the thing is, it should not take an act of Congress or cutting off an arm and a leg to get these judges off the bench.
Yeah.
And that's just not enough. Like, if these judges on the bench are doing this amount of carnage and damage, they should be able to be sued civilly into the motherfucking Stone Age. Because guess what? They would probably stop doing it then.
So here's the deal. The cases that I've been finding, the precedents that I've been finding, deal with jurisdiction. A judge doesn't have just carte blanche to do whatever a judge wants. Judges have jurisdictions. Their jurisdictions are defined by the office that they sit in. Like, a judge from Maryland can't just waltz into a Tennessee courtroom and start doing whatever the hell he wants. He can't do that. Now, here's the big one. These judges don't have any jurisdiction over the executive branch. And in many of the cases, many of these programs were created by fiat. They were created by executive order. They were created by a president and a pen. And the president who is sitting there now has every right to take his pen and uncreate those things. The judges have no jurisdiction.
Yep.
Because it's an executive decision. It's none of their damn business.
Now, listen, I understand. There's a lot of people working in the bloated government who are going to find themselves unemployed, and that sucks.
I don't care.
I get it. Hear me out.
Okay.
It sucks. I get it. All right. I understand.
I don't care.
But we have to look at it this way. What do you think is going to happen by 2035 if this country goes bankrupt? It's going to be a free-for-all. It will be incredibly ugly because civil wars always are. And it's going to start off the first 6 months or so, people, settling grudges. And then it's going to go into organizations, maybe tribal. It'll probably break along, racial lines. And that's not going to go well at all for anyone. And all because we have a bunch of judges who are literally abusing their power, running top cover for the corrupt cockroaches who've been running this country for, I don't know, since Carter. Because if you think the Bushes were any different, you're out of your mind. Obama or Obama, yeah. He was all working for the deep state. All of the shit he did, when you look at it now, with a little wisdom and time under your belt, that's exactly what he was doing. He got
that's a good point right there. I don't know if you realized that you made the point. Obama was working for the deep state. If you think these people are the penultimate in charges, you're sadly mistaken. There are powers over them. There have been powers over a lot of this for a lot of time.
Correct. And we need to listen. And if they follow the money, they'll be able to find who they are, and then we could take steps to deal with it. Because guess what? This right wave that took over here in America, it's happening in Europe as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And if you think us, the alt-right here is bad, you just wait until the Europe alt-right gets up and running. Because historically speaking, they don't play around.
Hugo Boss suits for everybody.
I'm just saying. It's bullshit. And oh man, oh my God. Like, for instance, like you brought up Ireland.
Yeah.
They could easily follow the money and figure out who was flipping the money switch to make all of that happen.
Yep.
Who got paid off? Because People in the English government, the UK or UK, whatever you want to call it, have been bribed to make that happen.
Couple of points on Ireland really quick.
Okay.
As soon as US aid fell, there was news coming out of Ireland. I monitor a whole bunch of different news channels. There was one of the Catholic charities from the United States that's been operating in Ireland for years have been taking money from US aid. And the second US aid's spigot got turned off, all of a sudden the Irish news is like, oh, this Catholic aid agency can't help immigrants anymore. And so we've got a US Catholic aid organization in Ireland funneling Africans into Ireland as an invasion force. They're all young males, all of them. And this is US-led, US money, pumping these people into Africa, or from Africa into Ireland, and funding the whole thing. There are people in Ireland right now, there's a couple on Twitter that are going, Ireland will be gone in 4 or 5 years if this keeps up.
Yep.
There will be no more Irish. There will be no more Ireland. That's the goal. This is a freaking race war. This is a color war. It's a color revolution. They've done it. They did it in Rhodesia. They're doing it in South Africa. South Africa's almost gone. France, for crying out loud. All of the former colonies, all of those people, any of the former white or European settlers who were there have been pretty much eliminated. I've been to Algeria. They're gone. They're not there.
Yep.
And that's what's happening here in the United States now. What do you think DEI is about? Why do you think all of your lawyers are other than whites? Why do you think all of you go to a doctor now?
Yeah.
Go to a doctor's office and find me a white doctor.
It's pretty hard.
Okay. Up until 1968, the United States of America was a 90% white country. It just was. Ireland was all Irish. What a crazy idea. Britain was all Brits to the tune of something like 97, 98%. You're going to have people from other countries. It's normal. It's called trade. It's called cultural exchange.
Yeah, but when you're bringing people in who don't bring any value to that country, and all they do is detract from the home culture,
yes,
that's a problem.
Yep.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.